breaking out of Georgia, there were 2,600 ballots found in Floyd County, Georgia, which is where Rome, Georgia is, if you know Georgia. And so I'd say a medium-sized county. 2,600 ballots that had never been counted. This was not part of a recount. These are new, on a thumb drive that wasn't entered into correctly by the elections official there. How many of those thumb drives exist in America? How many of those thumb drives exist in Michigan and Georgia and Nevada and Arizona and Wisconsin and Pennsylvania? Because if one in a medium to small size county in Georgia had 2,600 on it, 1,800 of which were for Donald Trump, by the way, then this election could be in a totally different place. I mean, think about that, folks. How many more this is supposed to be done November 20th, during this process Georgia's going through, how many more thumb drives will they find, and how outrageous is it?
Yeah, so
the 2,600 people would have found out next time they looked up on their vote records, their vote wasn't counted.
Which is, so here's what they got to do, which, this is a real question of voter integrity. Stan with us? He is. Stan, I want to ask you this because I know we're going to have to get into, when this is over, voter integrity issues nationally, because this is a serious problem. I mean, it is a really serious problem. You've got 2,600, I'm sure that's the tip of the iceberg, votes that were never counted.
Yeah, you're talking about a state
that took never
days.
Counted.
Right. In a state that took days to determine a winner, Jay. I mean, if the election was that close and yet you've just now got votes that aren't being counted, that is undermining the integrity of the vote. And the other thing is here, and I know we've talked about this in previous days, but the law in Georgia says that if it's within a 0.5%, only the losing candidate can request a recount. And that has been deemed to say that Senator Perdue cannot ask for a recount because he's actually the leading candidate. Well, he's inside of a quarter of a point of not having to go to a runoff, and yet somehow that state law is being interpreted to allow for a recount. And, Jay, it is just beyond me how the Secretary of State there can say, I'm going to look at every ballot, but I'm not going to count those in the Senate race. That doesn't make any sense, Jay.
No, it doesn't, but there's another issue, too, and I'm trying to figure this out. So we just did some math. So these additional votes does not put David Perdue at 50 plus 1, but it inches him up. I mean, he's already at 49.7. So so here's the thing, though, Andy, this isn't a recount. I mean, they found it because of a recount, but it was never counted. These ballots never came through the system.
That's right, Jay. The ballots were never counted, never came through the system. This is not part of a recount of ballots to determine whether or not we got it right the first time. These are people who were completely disenfranchised had the ballots not been found, and who would not have had an opportunity to cast their vote for president and for secretary for the United States Senate races with Kelly Loeffler and David Perdue. This is unforgivable. And the person who is involved in this, the director of elections and the board of elections in Floyd County, ought to be removed from their position. There is nothing to justify this happening. And as Jordan pointed out, we have 159 counties in the state of Georgia. 159 counties. Imagine how many thumb drives might exist in these other counties that were just maybe conveniently overlooked or stupidly overlooked or negligently overlooked. That would make a big difference, certainly in the Senate election and possibly in the presidential as well.
I mean, you think about this, 2,600 votes. The whole margin here of victory by Biden right now stands at 14,000. Think about this, that just the percentage of the votes are to the margin